it's Chris Allingham with the Virtual Weber Bullet. Today I am looking at some video that I shot recently. I was going to do an unboxing of the Anova Precision Chamber Vacuum Sealer. I bought one in January, kind of as a gift to myself. I shot some video of unboxing the product, but I ran into some glitches with it, and long story short, I ended up returning it. So I want to tell you about my experience with it, just to help you have some more information about this product in case you're considering it. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. I've been a Food Saver vacuum sealer user for a long time. I bought my first unit in 1999. It lasted until 2018, and then I replaced it with another unit that I've had ever since. I've not really had any problems with these units, gotten good use out of them. I will say that my primary use for them is to seal up fresh meat and cooked meat, obviously. I've been satisfied with Food Saver. The only glitch that I experience with it is when I'm sealing meat, sometimes I get juices they want to be sucked out of the bag. And that's kind of a messy proposition. The Food Saver does have a little channel that catches those juices and you can clean it out. It does sometimes interfere with the seal on the bag. So the workaround for me has always been to either take a paper towel and fold it up and put it in the top of the bag, and so as juices are pulled out during sealing, they get caught up in the paper towel and don't interfere with the seal and don't get sucked into the machine. The better approach that I found, though, is to simply put meat in the bag, fold the bag over, but don't seal it, put it in the freezer for a couple of hours until it just starts to firm up, and then you can seal the bag and you don't pull any juices out of the bag. So a little bit of a hassle, but not anything, really terrible. The Anova Chamber Vacuum Sealer I thought would solve my problem about juices being pulled from the bag because it works fundamentally differently than the Food Saver. The Food Saver, you put the open end of the bag into the machine, you start it, it pulls a vacuum from inside the bag, the atmospheric pressure around the bag squeezes on the bag, and then the machine seals the bag and you've got a nice tight seal around your food. A chamber vacuum sealer works a little differently. You put the bag inside a chamber that's inside the unit. The machine pulls a vacuum on the entire chamber, so not only the inside of the bag, but all the space around the bag. And once the vacuum is achieved, the unit seals the bag, and then when the pressure is released or the vacuum is released, air rushes into the chamber and it causes the bag to collapse around the sealed food. This means that you can literally put, soup in a bag, a complete liquid in a bag, and you can seal it this way because the bag and all the area around the bag is vacuumed. And when you seal it, there's no way of sucking anything out of the bag. It's a really cool concept. And it's really a commercial concept. You see these units used in large scale versions to seal so many of the products that we encounter in everyday life. And I thought this would be a cool thing to have at home. Yes, it's not my biggest problem. Yes, I'm satisfied with my Food Saver, but I thought I'll keep the Food Saver, I'll use it for certain things, and I'll use this Anova unit for most of the fresh meat that I seal. Like if I buy meat in bulk, fresh meat, or if I have leftover barbecue that I want to portion out individual bags, I can use this to do that. So anyway, the unit arrives and I begin to unbox it. There's an outer box, there's an inner box. I struggle to get the thing out of the box because it's quite heavy. I think the box was about 21 pounds and the unit itself is 18 pounds. I get it out, I get the plastic off of it, and I shoot some video showing the outside of the unit and the control panel. It's got a very sleek design. It's really a slick looking unit. Anova does a really good job on their product design. By the way, I've used an Anova sous vide device before with great success, so I know it's a quality brand, I think, and a very stylish brand. So I was pleased with what I saw. And in short, this unit has two different vacuum levels, like a normal and a strong. And then it has a normal sealing and a stronger sealing control. So you can put a better seal on a bag if you feel like you need to. But it has some other features as well. I just bought it simply because I wanted to seal fresh and cooked meat. That's all I want to do. It has the ability to infuse foods. It has the ability to compress foods. It has the ability to dry foods like baked goods. And you can also, of course, as I said, you can seal liquids as well. But I just wanted it for fresh and cooked meat. So I get it out, I get it plugged in, I got my introductory video shot, and I'm now gonna seal 2 fresh New York strip steaks. So I get them arranged inside the machine, and on the normal vacuum setting, I seal them, and to my surprise, they came out looking like they were not completely sealed. At least I could see areas where the bag did not tightly collapse around the meat, which really surprised me. And I thought, well, maybe I did something wrong. I got out my food saver and I put the other 2 steaks I had in a food saver bag and I sealed them. And the difference was remarkable. The food saver appeared to put a much tighter seal around those steaks than did the Anova. And this perturbed me, to say the least. So I cut the 2 steaks out of the Anova bag, I put them in another bag, and I vacuum sealed them again, this time on the stronger seal. And I'm gonna show you some video here of them side by side, and you can see just how tight the food saver seal is. I mean, the bag is completely crumpled around these steaks and pulled them together very tightly. Whereas on the Anova, you can just see with your own eyes that there are gaps and spaces around the steaks inside the bag. In fact, I don't have video showing it here, but I actually was able to move the steaks around inside the Anova bag just by pressing down on them. I could move them apart from one another in the bag, which I'd never be able to do with a food saver bag. Now, I will acknowledge that there's a couple of differences here in what you just saw. Number one, the food saver bag is a different type of bag. They used a textured bag, whereas the Anova used a smooth kind of bag. And the food saver bag was a narrower bag. This is just what I happened to have. I had run out of the wider bags. But still, I have sealed enough meat in food saver bags of all types and sizes to know that food saver very consistently puts a very tight seal on fresh meat inside the bag. So I just was not happy with what I was seeing. So let me take you one step backwards. Before buying this unit, I went online and did very, very cursory research on it. I didn't look deeply into it. I did see an article by Serious Eats, which I think is a respected outlet for food information. They did an article that highlighted what they thought were the top types of vacuum sealers on the market. And for the home style, or I should say home use chamber sealer, they said the Anova Precision Chamber Vacuum Sealer was their top pick. And that was pretty much all the information I used to make my decision. I was pretty much sold on the brand anyway, and I thought it looked cool, and I thought it would do a good job because of their reputation. When I found that I wasn't getting the kind of seal that I thought I would get, I went back to that article. I noticed there was a link to a more detailed review that they had done in the previous year. I think it was in May 2024. And as I looked through that article, sure enough, there was a point in the article where they said that they noticed that the machine did not always put a tight seal or get a tight seal around fresh meat. And I'm like, crap. I mean, had I known that, I might not have gone down this road. They went on to say that some people or some testers had found that if they held down the back corners of the lid, that they got a better seal on their meat or their product. And I thought, well, that's just lame if I have to actually hold the lid down during the process in order to get it to seal more tightly. So as another test, I did have some cooked shredded brisket, which I put in one of the Anova bags, and I put it in the sealer, and I did press down on the lid while it's sealed. And I think I did get a better result than I got on the fresh meat. Not probably as tight as the Food Saver, but maybe better than on the fresh steaks. At this point though, I was just kind of doubting my decision on this product. And besides the nature of the seal it was putting on the meat, you know, it was a big, heavy product. It would take a lot of room on my countertop or a lot of space in a kitchen cabinet. I knew it was limited in its size, but when I saw it in person, I thought, you know, I'm not sure I could get a large tri-tip inside one of these bags, for example. That's something I might have to continue to do with the Food Saver. So, you know, given that it had all these features I didn't really care about and didn't seem to do super well on the thing I did care about, and given its size and its weight and some of the limitations in terms of capacity, I just decided, you know, I'm going to pull the ripcord on this and I'm just going to return it. I didn't really have the time or the inclination or the money to go out and buy a bunch more fresh meat of different types and styles and vacuum seal them and see if I got the same result again and again and again, nor did I have any place to really store all that meat in my freezer. So I decided just to return the thing, and I contacted them, and after a couple of go-arounds through email, I did get a return authorization and a mailing label to send it back. I have yet to get my refund. I don't know how long it will take. I don't know whether there will be a restocking fee. I don't know whether they will charge me for the shipping back to them. If I find those things out, I'll put them in a comment down below. But I think for you as a potential buyer of a chamber vacuum sealer, I would think carefully about whether you're going to buy the Anova Precision Chamber Vacuum Sealer. I think a lot of people are happy with it. Perhaps people who have never used a Food Saver don't have a point of comparison. It's just my educated guess and understanding, though, is that if when the unit seals the bag and the vacuum is released and that bag does not just snap super tightly to the food, that tells me that the seal is not quite as strong as it is in the Food Saver. In fact, I'm reminded, I have some photos. Let me show you right here some photos I took of the meat after it was frozen. And you can see the difference. You can see that there is, you know, ice forming in these gaps that are left behind inside the bag, which are not as prominent in the Food Saver bag. So my personal opinion is it doesn't seal as well on fresh meat as I would like. I'm kind of disappointed because I thought it would be a fun thing to have. I knew I'd still have the Food Saver around for large things. As you may know, Food Saver offers two different widths of bags. There's a narrow and there's a wide. You can make bags from rolls of material as long as you want. They even have a big pleated bag where you could put a whole brisket, believe it or not, inside a bag. And it's pleated on each side and you can bring it together and seal it in the unit. So there's a lot of flexibility with the Food Saver. And the only thing about it is that because it sucks the vacuum from inside the bag and not from around the bag, you do get this juice situation, which you'll have to figure out, you know, how to handle that. My way is simply to freeze the meat a bit in the freezer before I seal it. And by the way, if you have experience with Food Saver and you've got your own workaround for how to handle juices coming out of the bag, put a comment down below. I'd be curious to see what you do about it, whether you have another technique or you do what I do, or whether you don't care, you just clean out the tray inside. Maybe that's your answer. I don't like to have to do that. So anyway, I wanted to share my experience with you, just sort of, you know, eyes wide open when you consider the Anova unit. Maybe it's great for you. If you have it and you use it and you like it, put a comment down below and tell me all about it. I'd like to hear about your experience, okay? Well, that's it for now. I want to thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you very much. If you appreciate my videos, I would ask you to like and subscribe to them. It helps other people find them. Please post comments down below. And until next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.